from just outside the perimeter of Atlanta, Georgia, where our defense didn't fail, so we're going back to Fort Lauderdale. It is the Five Takes podcast. And surprisingly enough, we're
fucking back. We're fucking back.
Back like daylight savings time. Hey, we've lost an hour, but gained another game. Not bad.
Ooh, I like that one too, Glenn. You're on fire tonight.
You know what? Last minute banger winners will do that for you.
It makes you creative. It brings out the best in you.
Last night was incredible. Before we hit record proper on this, Kat and I were talking before everybody else got on here too. Oh, hello. Hi, I'm Glenn. We've got, if you're not watching the video, Kat's here tonight. Jennifer's here tonight.
Hi.
And Jack fucking Purdy is back tonight.
Oh, we got Jack.
Stat attack. We have questions for him.
We got Jack. It's the Jack attack.
We will get to those. But last night was incredible. Like I said, Kat and I were talking before everybody came on tonight about just, the infrequency of what she makes it to games. She's got a lot going on. Anderson Cooper takes up a lot of time and kids. And so she'll make it out 3-4 games on the year if she's lucky. But for some reason, 1 or 2 out of those 3 or 4 are just like memories.
Fucking
just incredible moments.
That's right.
And, the batting average, you're batting 330 at that point.
Yeah.
It's pretty good average. And I don't know how you're able to just like sniff those moments out like a pig looking for truffles. But
did you just call me a fucking pig?
Whatever.
No, he called you a truffle pig.
Truffles. Who loves truffles?
Listen, that makes it so much better.
Oh my God. Anyhow,
Anyway.
you know what I'm saying. And
No, it's absolutely right.
I was so happy
absolutely right.
that we both got to be there. Even I was a last minute, I was questionable, as they said, because I threw my back out a couple days ago.
It was day to day.
I was day to day. But, I mean, look, it's Miami. It's messy. It's in a game we have no right, no business playing in, that nobody, myself included, raised my hand, thought we'd never be in. Yeah. So I cart myself in. I will be there. I was there. Right. I was uncomfortable, but I was there. And then AJ was there with us, and Michael from FanTV, and we were all together.
Next to us, we were, something was working. Something was brewing. Tony was in the air. It was like everything just was the way it was supposed to be. I was encouraged, I was sent to the game by my wife because I explained. I was like, these are all the things. These are all the reasons. And she said, oh no, you have to go.
She was on a mission from God.
The goddess, if anything, for fuck's sake. Yeah. But she knew that the stars were aligning, that the veil was thin, and it was time for me to go to this match. And I guess I picked the right one. Did. So, nobody thought that's what was going to happen, let alone that we were going to win. And it was fucking great. It was so much fun again, you guys.
I have, in that vein, I have an opening question for all of you that I'd love to hear your answers to.
Let's go.
You guys did different games and whatever, and man, did that feel amazing last night.
It was
unreal.
What is your
Mike Conti said on the post game that, and it was also on Twitter, that this is probably going to go in his top 3 all-time MLS matches at the Benz.
Ooh, okay.
Where does this match sit for you guys on that scale and spectrum? For ones that you were physically at, I'm not talking about you watched, Red Bull Leg 1 from home or whatever. Ones that you have physically been in the Benz for.
Okay. It has to be in the Benz.
Jennifer, go first, then Jack, and then I'll take it.
No. I asked the question. I get to go last.
Okay. All right, Kat, you go first, and then Jack.
Okay. Well, do you want me to rank them or just pick?
No, I just want to know where this one would have ranked in your top 5-ish list.
It's pretty high. Nothing's ever going to get rid of. Obviously the winning the cup. I think I speak for everybody on that one. Yep. Of course, you can't get away from that. I think the first one in the Benz was obviously pretty incredible because I think that. Nothing could cap that. I remember looking up at the Halo board and the fire and you know, the brimstone, as it were. It felt really special. It felt really cool, you know.
Okay. All right.
God, you know, because of everything that we've been through this year, because of the way it all went down, and because I haven't given a shit for so long, it feels like so long for so many months, and because it just felt like something was in the air, something was charged, you know, and I was there with Glenn when we won the Open Cup. That was pretty badass too. You know, we had some really special moments. It 3 or 4.
Okay.
Easily. Just because of
I understand.
Everything leading up to it.
There's not a wrong answer here. I just want to know where it sits for you.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking high.
Jack, what do you got?
It's damn good. I think MLS Cup was great. I think it just in terms of the pure release that I ever had, the East Final in 18 still takes it for me.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Tito's third goal, that's still the loudest moment I have heard in any single building outside of when Taylor Swift dropped into Fearless during the Eras tour inside that stadium too. But I saw a couple of my other friends on Twitter mention, like, after Zonde's goal, that is the loudest we've heard. I was there for this game and for the game-winning touchdown against the Buccaneers when we got that overtime touchdown. It was loud. I was in the upper deck for that, so like all the sound was coming to me. That was loud as hell. But this goal beat that. Just in terms of raw emotion in the because this is a regular season game against Tampa Bay on a Thursday. It's just Tampa, whatever. This was the literal best player to probably ever play, and he didn't do shit the entire game. And we were able to do that. My other one,
and they gave him man of the match for it too.
The other one for me was the 7-0 game because that was just complete.
That was against New England.
Against New England, because that just
on a Wednesday.
Yes,
and the 2 red cards, them going down to 9. That was a good one too. Like, that was fun.
That was like the most gluttonous game of just like everything is going our way. We are eating our lunch and the dessert and the next day's lunch at the exact same time.
Fucking pounded into the ground.
It was just like, this is what we are if you let us play like that was just the ultimate version of that team.
Yeah.
The U.S. Open Cup just made me stressed more than anything. Like, I don't think I was even happy after that game. I was just like, how did we not lose this game more than anything against Minnesota in 19? So, I think it's sitting in that. It's not quite an MLS East Final, not quite an MLS Cup, but it's with the.
It's up there.
It's with that group. I mean, but then like all the games that are this loud are going to be like that. If we win and there's nearly 70,000 people there, it's going to feel different naturally. Like that's just how that's going to be.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe so, but at the same time, I've been in that stadium lately, and even last year, where there was still a fuck ton of people, but we weren't loud because we were happy.
No, that's true.
We were loud because we were mad and sad and disappointed.
This whole game, it's like they were playing like we had a shot. This wasn't like, oh no, we barely. I mean, yes, we barely won, but it's just like. That whole game, we felt like we were relevant and in it, which has not been how any of our games have been.
None.
Unless we play Miami, because apparently Tata Ball, we know how to beat. We should know how to beat it. But still, it's just like this. It's just really funny how that's all coming full circle.
That's what I'm saying.
Right
we've become a Miami's Achilles heel for some reason, much in the similar way that.
Shh. We're not talking about it.
Okay.
We don't talk about Bruno.
It's not fucking Bruno. I don't. We've taken more points off of Miami than any other team in MLS.
No, we can feel pretty confident about. Still might not get the job done, next week, but no denying that we've played well against this team. It's number 4 for me. MLS Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Red Bulls 3 goals.
Yeah.
U.S. Open Cup with you.
Yep.
And then this one. You could probably switch them around 3 and 4. This one maybe gets the edge just because of what it meant, because of what Jack said, of how the season has gone. It's messy. It's Tony. It's all these things coming together. It's you coming to the game at the last moment.
Yeah.
And just that the magic, man. This is the juice.
Yeah, something just.
This is why we go. This is what we live for. And I don't mean the win. I mean the memories. Like, you will never, ever forget last night. You will remember how you felt, who you were with, what you said, the beer you spilt. Like, you will remember all of it.
Everything leading up to it.
And you will,
none of that, all everything. The stuff leading, that and is all relevant
that moment, everything leading up to it. And at least for me, when I'm struggling and feeling down, I call on moments like that. I really do. It actively, my therapist has me working on this, remembering those times and playing them back in my head. So I did my best in that moment to just be present and remember and soak in as much as possible, because it's that feeling it's so hard to get that anywhere else in life.
It matters. Just
pure joy, pure concentrated joy.
It did though, didn't it? Didn't it kind of feel like it didn't feel like we were going to go to penalties. Like in the 75th minute, I was in
the 91st minute. I turned to Mike, who was at my left, and I turned to Lily, who was at my right, between you and I, so you didn't jump on me and hurt my back.
So I wouldn't jump on
Michael
you and
still
hurt
did,
you.
so that didn't work out really well.
Great. I even told his ass that I wasn't allowed to sit next to you.
I said to both of them in the 91st minute, there's a goal in this. Now, I can't be sure
who's going to score it.
I'm not 100% sure. But there is a goal in this. And lo and behold, there was.
It didn't feel like we were going to go to penalties because I was like, no, that's not how this ends.
They haven't escaped.
It's not like this. It's not going to be like this.
They haven't escaped their tendency that they started last year of just not allowing a game to be over until after the 85th minute, because something has to happen.
That's true.
After the 85th.
Look at their wins. If they don't bury teams,
they're vulnerable.
They don't win a lot of 1-0s.
Yeah, no, not at all.
They're like expect to win by 3 goals.
It's Tata ball. It's like Tata, like you just said, he coined it, Tata ball. Like we were like that when we had him too. We were okay with conceding 1 or even 2 goals.
You knew you were going to get 3 or 4.
With scoring 4.
Right, that was different. We could still score 2.
We could do that then. Yeah, I know.
Unlike now, where it's like, okay, you might get 1 early, and then go from there. Jen, we still have to get your games.
Yep.
Well.
But it did. It did. It felt like something was going to happen. And 75th minute on, I was just like, there's like an air of asshole in the air, and it was just something is going to happen, and something was going to work.
Jennifer will pop in and out from time to time.
Sorry,
no, it's okay. It's
going
to happen. The least of our problems. It's fine. Everything's fine now, and including my back, which was worth the risk of going there. Seems perfect segue into Mason Mill, who is our sponsor and has been our sponsor, continues to be our sponsor, probably going to be our sponsor for the next 20 years, right? So we're all going to be doing this.
And after last night, I think we're all in desperate need of chiropractic care.
Am I ever? Unfortunately, I won't be able to go tomorrow because they are closed Mondays, but they are open Tuesdays through Saturdays. And that Saturday is actually, like, if you're going to choose to be open Monday through Friday or Tuesday through Saturday, Saturday's super clutch, especially if you're somebody that's got to work Monday through Friday. You can get in on a Saturday. And last minute, by the way, they're very good about taking you if you have a complicated schedule like Kat and all of us do. All of us have complicated schedules. And it's nice to find a doctor who's willing to accommodate that. Give them a call, 404-321-0082, or find them on the web at masonmillchiro.com. Do not forget about their 30th anniversary party coming up on November 8th. Free food and drink. And Kat and I will be helping them shoot a little promo video on the 13th, giving some testimonials about how wonderful they are. So look for that to drop on their socials.
When are they doing that 30th anniversary party again?
November 8th. November 8th.
Okay.
It's a Friday. Good times.
Friday.
Good times there. All right.
You know what that Friday
is?
That? That Friday is the day before I fly to Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, shoot. That is coming up.
It is.
That's this Friday. It's already November 3rd. Oh, my Lord.
It's already November 3rd.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, shit. Sorry. As I lay dying.
It's a whole month past Mean Girls Day.
You're right. Oh,
it's October the 3rd. Wait, October the 7th? What was the Mean Girls?
October 3rd.
October the 3rd. It's
on October 3rd. He asked me what day it was.
October 3rd.
It's October 3rd.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, takes.
No, I think sometimes, especially this season, it's been, like Kat said, it's been a slog, and we've been mired in a lot of, oh my God, this team is driving me bananas, right? And why can't we figure this all out? And you shared a post on Twitter about it being like, I think some sort of anniversary for the 5 takes.
Oh, actually, no. That was another account that follows us that decided to share the date that we joined. I believe that was Atlanta United VIPs that often retweets or tweets out on this date, such and such player joined, and this thing happened, this momentous, and then they tweeted out that apparently on this date, ish 5 years ago. My God, we started this thing.
God, has it been that long already?
Yeah,
Fuck.
it's been about 5 years, which is crazy. Time doesn't make sense anymore. Days can be very long, and a year can be very short. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but
in any case, that post meant, you said in that post about like it's been a lot of joy and sharing of joy. So I wanted to take this opportunity while we're all full of soccer and Atlanta United joy to think about the ways that this club has brought us joy in the past, because it hasn't always been like this. And I think sometimes we really need reminders like we had last night about why we are so invested the way that we are.
I was really happy, and I think I might have even put this in one of the takes or mentioned it at some point, that there were a lot of non-Atlanta United people there, or not wearing the gear at least, whether that was an Argentina shirt, a Messi shirt, Miami shirt, or just street clothes. I'm glad they got to experience that. That's what we aspire to be, is entertaining. And I'm glad they got to see us at what we are meant to be, or what we aspire to be. It was incredible, and I'm glad that crowd got to see the hype, because that is what we got accustomed to for the first 3 years, and maybe took for granted. I'll raise my hand, guilty, about just coming to expect that week in, week out. The past few years have taught me cherish those moments, those years, those seasons when they happen, because nothing's guaranteed. And last night was a great reminder of just how much joy this club can bring us and into our lives via the memories we make, the friends we make. I don't know if any of us are friends without this club. To be honest, if we had met otherwise, Kat, maybe you and I, just because of the business we work in. But on this level of closeness,
we might know each other. Yeah, we might know each other.
Worked on set.
But it might, it might be casual. But
but Jennifer certainly not. Jack probably not. So it's serendipitous in that way. And I'm really grateful for it.
Jennifer, did you answer your own question, by the way? Did you get there?
No, I don't think so. But
let's hear it.
Sure. Where's it rank for you last night?
I think it's number 4.
It could bump up, right? Like if we knock out Miami, you look back on that match and go, okay.
It would bump down theoretically.
Well, that's right.
I mean, I think
we weren't there. You'll be there, but we won't be all there together. Right. So yeah.
But I think right now it's definitely in the top 5. Yeah. I feel like, again, it was so, it was just like, it was so nice to feel all those vibes again, right? Like I felt, I don't feel dead inside anymore.
We did. We all felt something. We felt something positive.
And this weekend was almost a clean sweep. Like Liverpool win, Spurs. Another inexplicable great win, which you'll follow it up next week with going back to Spursy. Chelsea draw, it's fine. Falcons win today. Maybe made it a little nervy at the end, but they were fine. And the Falcons are now 6-3, 4-0 against their conference. Like
6-3. I am heavily watching this Vikings game to hope that they lose. They'll be 5-3 if they lose to the Joe Flacco Colts, who might beat them.
How funny is that?
I know.
By the way,
I know.
I've oddly, for reasons unknown. And
wait, the Colts still have a football team?
Yeah, they do. Believe it or not. No, it's the Browns that you think shouldn't have one, but no, it's oddly, strangely, and oddly, I've somehow developed. I've been following football because it's a fucking train wreck this year. Not because I'm invested in any one particular team, but it's really funny to watch the teams with the people that get paid the most money doing the worst. And it's been really funny to me. So I've been like watching the big giant collapses and then the surging of the non-conventional teams.
All of a sudden Detroit is very good.
Making an impact. Huh? That's what I was saying. Detroit and us, and I say us, but the Falcons, it's pretty fun, wild. Kind of to watch the big collapse of all the really high paid people. But yeah, we almost had a clean sweep of the weekend. It's been good for sports.
I feel good about it. I'm even good with a draw with Chelsea because Chelsea has already exceeded my expectations for the season.
That's true.
We've already done above and beyond what I thought we would do, so I'm good with it. All right, so take number 1 here. No small thing to shut down the greatest player to ever play the game. No disrespect to Pele and Maradona. Ronaldo can kick rocks. The back line was just outstanding collectively tonight. Special mention to Derek. He's a top 3 signing in the past couple of years, I think, in terms of the impact he's had and the money that we had to pay to get him. And then he got a goal off of another dime ball from Pedro. This dude. My Lord. Another just diamond in the rough. 250,000. 7 assists. What? At 9 games? The dude's almost getting an assist a game off of direct floated, bring you it on a silver platter balls.
To me, again, I'm not even I'm not even going to make it hard on myself. Sure. And to me, Pedro's not my low key.
Okay, you want to do low key?
He is my key. He's my key.
Okay.
No. Okay. I don't agree with giving
He likes
someone.
He likes it.
He likes it. I don't agree with giving Jande the man of the match. I understand he gave us the go-ahead ball. I don't agree with giving him man of the match for coming in and being relevant for 8 minutes, like Jack said a little bit earlier. But I don't get me wrong. Great. Let him hammer home a spike. I get it. But man of the match, I don't think that's fair. Derek got a goal and he played 90. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. But for me, Pedro, man of the match. I had a little boy next to me who was standing coincidentally on my seat. And I think he may have gotten a couple little footprints on my scarf, but that's my fault for not holding it. Anyway, he kept saying to his dad, "Donde Pedro? Donde Pedro? Amador! It was so
smart
adorable.
Kid.
And I'm looking at him, I'm like, I know, Donde Pedro? Because he was so often in such a beautiful amount of space.
I think the one thing Miami was actually successful at last night, for the most part, was shutting down our service coming from Pedro. Like for the first half, I felt like Pedro really wasn't as involved as he has been, and defensively, that was one of the things that Miami actually did well. Of course, it opened up all sorts of other space because Miami doesn't really have any defense other than getting egregious yellow cards and then not being called for them.
No kidding. God.
But yeah, I Pedro, I felt like was very quiet in the first half by the standard he has set.
Jack, I have a question for you. Did you think the key to shutting Atlanta United down would be shutting down a $250,000 left back?
No. But,
it's incredible.
I'm glad said left back is doing things that Brooks Lennon never did. Is my heavy take on all of this is where I'm like, Bumby couldn't play. Like that dude is our Nick Markakis. Like he has gone through all of the shit years and has toiled and has played so many minutes, and like I'm happy he played. Remember, this guy played in the MLS's back tournament for us. Like that's how long we've had this guy. He has been through the worst game in club history.
Wow, yeah.
So I hate that he didn't play, but we're a lot better when he doesn't play, and think this showed it. I think this showed like. Pedro's got stuff. We're so much more dynamic. Like as you mentioned, he's servicing balls in at a much better rate. This dude, if Brooks can fly, he's not like Jurgen Damm where he just runs in a single cardinal direction and then that's all that happens. But he's got a better head and all that kind of stuff. But it's just there was never the level of like
quality.
The quality was never good enough. Better. He was a lot of quantity with not that much quality. That was the whole thing. That's why we got so repetitive and so obnoxious to watch because we never had a better solution until we finally started, rotating who was even on the club and could do stuff like that. So I'm very. I mean, anyways, go ahead.
No. It's interesting. It's interesting that you say that because before you hopped in, Jack, we were trying to figure out a way. Like, do we all just want to give Rob Valentino the low key man of the match because Rob has done? Obviously, something is going on. I don't know what he's feeding them. I don't know what they're drinking. I don't know.
Pizza.
I'm ready to like inject it into my veins and run through a brick wall too. Whatever he's selling, I am buying. We were trying to figure out, like we were saying, like, what is it that changed with Rob's coaching and his use of the personnel that we have?
Yeah.
Right. That goes back, not just since the Decision Day match, but really there's been a little bit of a change basically since like September rolled over. It's like all of a sudden, okay, maybe this team is figuring itself out. And I don't know that that's abnormal when you're in a new coaching situation,
Right.
new managing situation, but personnel shifts. And maybe part of it is we got Hernandez back healthy.
Yeah, that's
right. Who's been injured for a long time.
A fully healthy Hernandez is, I mean, a not healthy Hernandez is not a liability. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
A normal Hernandez is great. Also, by September and just thinking of like the timeline of when we got Alexey and then molding into the team and things like that, I'm remembering now, like there were not many moments I could really remember from last night where we had the ball at a certain spot in the field where it's like, okay, find that pass, turn upfield a little bit, do something, where we were so often back passing or sideways passing for so long. Last night was not that much of that. Granted, again, Tata Ball lets you counter pretty well, and they know how to do that. They beat him 3 times now doing that idea.
Yeah.
But it's just like, okay, having guys that are, I mean, Alexey is a helpful part, and his passing's been great, and getting that, molding that style of play takes time. It is not on a dime as much as we wish it had been on a dime. Literally once in the last 3 years. But it's looking better. All you gotta do is get hot in the playoffs. And I'm looking at I was so tuned out of this league, I forgot who was even in what conference. But now that I'm looking at it, I just realized Columbus lost, which means I'm not scared of anybody left in this league at all until well, okay, I'm not saying we're going to make MLS Cup by any stretch of the imagination, but it's like, oh, okay, this is way more doable now than it ever was.
Yep.
Because this is the first round match I think we would have liked. I still think this playoff format is just full of horseshit, but nonetheless, this is weirdly doable now.
It is. The top 4 of the East are all facing elimination.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. So.
And so is LAFC.
Do you dislike this playoff format more than the aggregate format, though?
Miles. This is miles worse. This is
worse?
Yeah, I agree.
This is so much worse. Oh, yeah. This is
what would be your solution? A one-off?
I would get rid of this ninth place team is dumb.
Get rid of that.
We shouldn't even
we wouldn't be here.
I completely agree. That's dumb. No, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But what would be your what?
I thought the aggregate thing was fun. I would just maybe do less teams, probably.
Okay.
Because I thought the aggregate was a
6,
soccer.
take it to 6.
The aggregate was a soccer
7.
thing. Like that was.
No, of course it is.
That was fun. I like that we had
it's
that
Champions
element
League.
Of it. Yeah.
It's Champions League style. But
you don't this is not baseball. You can't play 8 games in 6 days.
I was going to say it's a lot of games.
That's what my problem is this was fully. I mean, we know this is an Apple money grab in this round 1 thing, but it's like that's just you have to stay there's 4 different playoff structures existing in this one playoff structure, which is the most annoying part for me.
That's true.
Because now we go to knockouts after this, and if LA Galaxy now has like a 2-week break because they took care of business against Colorado,
it's not good.
That's actually a good example of what we are not. Look, Colorado's not a very good team. They snuck in kind of like we did, and they went up against the best and got smacked down.
Yeah, we
snuck in, went up against the best, and we're holding our own. More so. I mean, I think we were the better team last night. And I know Goose stood on his head in Miami. Listen, every team has one of those nights. And that was our 3rd game in 6 days. Yeah, we needed him to stand up.
Yeah, the legs were not there.
Let's see what we can do fully
rested. The fact we got a goal is incredible.
If I'm a Miami fan, I'm a little nervous.
In Miami.
I'm a little nervous if I'm a Miami fan.
If you've been trolling the Miami sub like I have on the Reddit, or the main MLS sub, number 1, the whole league is behind us right now. Everybody in all of MLS is an Atlanta United stan right now, and I'm here for it. But yeah, it's real interesting because these the people like I don't think these people know how to watch MLS soccer. They don't understand it. Like it's so very blatantly
I don't know how to watch
obvious
MLS soccer.
Well, I mean, you're at least used to the idiosyncrasies that is this, but like it amazes me how incredulous they are. Like, how could they ever lose a match with the squad that they have?
Well,
like,
this is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
as it gets overused a lot, house money and playing with it. But we
Absolutely.
really are, because Miami is 100% in win now mode. If they don't win now, and I'm a Miami supporter, I'm going to ask, okay, so when are we supposed to win? Because right now we have Alba, Busquets, Suarez, and Messi, and you're telling me we can't get a trophy now?
Neymar on the way.
What are we going to do in the future? What more do we have to do? We can't get it done now. We lost to 12th place Atlanta United? Huh? What? That's what I would be asking. They're feeling the pressure. And look, they may do it. They may show up next Saturday, and they may put 3 goals past us in the first 25 minutes. I don't think it's going to happen, but it could. But they are expected to do this, and we are not. And we finally, maybe that's the big shift. Maybe that's the shift with coaching, mentality, whatever, that we talked about this summer. Who are we? What are we? Big club, expected to win. This is what we have been branded on, fighting for every trophy. We're not used to being an underdog. Maybe we have collectively... Now we're embracing that villain role, the villain era, and just being okay with that. Maybe? I don't know. I was struggling with that. Like, what is our identity? What are we doing? I'm kind of good with this underdog role. If we play spoiler here, that's great, man.
Well, look, my question has been similar to, like, okay, so we're giving Rob somehow like the low-key man of the season, right? If you want to look at it that way, because if anything, he found something in us, but he's only found it somewhat recently. So what was preventing him from finding it, say, in August, right?
I
or
don't know.
July?
I don't think it was him preventing it. I think
no, I didn't say that. It just what was preventing.
No, I don't know. I think it's bought in player mentality. Like, I don't know that we had the personnel that was playing more consistently over the summer, because the lineup has shifted a lot. We've finally gotten, a decent chunk of what's left of our lineup healthy, so that doesn't hurt either.
Right. But was it, like, you heard me last week when I said, look, we don't deserve this whole fuck 'em all mentality as much as everybody thinks that we, this thing that we're going on.
I think at this stage in the game we do, because we have we have one DP, well, 1.5.
Maybe at
DPs,
this point,
right?
If people keep doubting,
we've had 1.5 DPs since July.
Right. But remember how I felt about it. What I was saying is, it's not like we've been fighting adversity all season by things that weren't in our own control.
Well, I mean,
everything, just about everything, except has been kind of by our own design. We were killing ourselves and beating ourselves. No. Don't me. Because with everything, with Pineda leaving and with Yorgos leaving, every single one of the players on that team still could have gone out there and played with more heart than they've shown in the last 4 games at any point in this fucking season. So don't tell me that all of a sudden, that, don't say that we would playing with heart, or we were playing for the badge, and it's everybody else that's just been beating us down, because that has not been the case.
What I'm saying.
So that's why I said we don't deserve to have this. We've been doing everything we can, but adversity has still been keeping us down, because that's not true. What I want to know is, what did he start to find? You said that he found it, Jennifer, you said that he found it before the Orlando match. So what turned the tide? What do you think?
Well, I was alluding to what Jack said about us being maybe a better side without Brooks in the lineup. And I
don't think you're wrong.
I also think, when you look at the sub patterns that Valentino has had, the way he's shifted, formation setups, because I know formation is really kind of a fluid idea. It's not necessarily something that, it's not a law that you adhere to. Sure. I don't know that we saw as much of that fluid motion and in-game reaction response, during the more beginning part of Rob's tenure. I think maybe he may have figured out how better to integrate the personnel with the chemistry that they had together, breaking things down more into like pairings that worked. But you also had to have some things come together that you maybe didn't expect. Like, I don't know that we expected Sleesh and Jay Fortune to have the kind of chemistry together that they do. But that pairing has worked so much better than Sleesh and Tristan did, right? Or even Sleesh and you know, right? Or even Tristan and whatever.
Tristan and
you
anyone.
had Amador, right? You had Amador growing into a really phenomenal role with Saba and really getting on that same page. And I'm going to save my thoughts about Alexey for when we get to this
Yeah,
tape.
and I was too harsh on him, and I'll walk some of that back.
But I think, again, these are all things that, unfortunately, given the players that we have, and the players also, a lot of what we brought in coming in from Europe. Yeah, it's different factors, different leagues, different training styles. I don't know, but again, I was just, trying to figure out what the heck it was that all of a sudden, like, we grew a heart. Like, we went to visit the Wizard of Oz, and
Right.
hey, he did have a heart in his bag somewhere.
Well, it also, see, more to your point, Kat, I think it's also like we had to grow out of Pineda ball habits too. Like, that was not that was not going to be a fast transition, and we saw many times how that made us like go nuts in our head of just like, why are we playing the certain way we play? I know for me the subs were mind-boggling at times that he would make. So like,
you're right about that.
There was a number of things that like Pineda did enough things decently, but like obviously he wasn't translating enough. But I think, or more than anything, Rob knows what he was there when we were fucking amazing. Like, he knows what the best version of this club has always been.
Right.
Like, he was there for all that. So like, I'm not fully surprised that he's like, okay, I know what the grassroots of this is supposed to look like, so just get rid of the crap that wasn't working,
right?
And just boil it down, and that took time. I think that's why it finally by the corner just happened to be now in Orlando. It was just like, okay, I had some room to work with it for once, and consistent time together too, more than anything.
And I want to make sure to make sure that it's clear to people that are listening too. I don't think that Rob has done a bad job. If anything, like I said, I have, and I've said this in prior episodes, I think Rob has done absolutely the best that he can with what he's been given. If anybody was playing for the badge from the moment, it was Rob. It's just, it's unfortunate because if it had to, I get that. I get like formations tactically. I know that kind of thing takes time, but you can still struggle tactically, and you can still struggle with your performance, even as long as you're going out there and you're playing with heart and you're playing for the city and you're playing for the badge. And I just know that in the dog days of like July and August, it didn't feel like that was happening. It didn't feel like there was
the results just weren't
because
there.
of the result, right? Winning, and I get it. There's 1,000 factors
for like buy-in and thinking it works. And Jack, I think you brought up a fair point of like, Pineda ball is not an easy thing to get away from. The man was
and
here
I get
for
that.
A long
I just
time.
still haven't heard a viable explanation. I haven't heard a viable explanation as to why the 11 players that would walk out onto the pitch, save for maybe Brad, weren't walking out with the same kind of heart and playing for the badge that they've been showing the last 6 games.
Winning.
I want to change.
Why hasn't it? I want
to change your verb from heart to relaxation. I think they just look more relaxed playing soccer now. Like, they just feel more. It feels.
Okay, so why weren't they doing that in July and August?
Pineda ball. I think it's fair.
Pineda ball.
Do you think some of it? Do you think some of it might have been a little Almada ball? Too?
Oh, sure. No, there was
a little Caleb Wiley ball.
This team did face a lot of adversity. We did lose a coach
of our own making.
There was definitely some.
That's where I gotta disagree with you.
I'll give you this. There were heavy personalities on this team who were very dominant. So there is that mixing dominant personalities with I would say a very constrained style of play that was very orderly and not free flowing. Did not mesh well. Those same guys under Tata, which is kind of what he's got right now, and they set the points record. It works for them because they let the emotion of the game be part of how they play the game. That was not our emotions got in our way all the freaking time. And
I don't disagree, by the way. I think Almada would have thrived under Tata.
Absolutely.
Absolutely would have thrived under him. If this had been the same team with Tata and Almada had still been here from last year and this year, like for like 23 and 24 with Almada, with Tata would have been very, very,
I don't mean to
very
keep holding up on the take,
interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. And I do. I think free flowing is a big part of it, very possession based, attacking mentality as we had with him. I think he would have been excellent in a 2018. Atlanta United. So and a lot of this, by the way, is my frustration. I might sound like I'm constantly playing devil's advocate, but and I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. Right now, I am happy, and I have been happy for four games now.
Don't get it twisted, y'all.
I kept telling the guys in front of us, the twins with their dad, I kept telling them how much fun I was having. And I really want to make sure that is clear because it had been missing for so long. It's so hard. Just like, I'm going through my routine at the end of the night with my kids and everything. And I've got the game on and I'm just basically walking past it, watching it every now and then because there wasn't anything grabbing me and pulling me in as it was before. Like we've said, this is where we're supposed to go to get away from the rest of it.
I get it.
So yeah, last night was so much fucking fun.
I get it.
It just felt fun.
While we're privileged to have Jack with us, I have a couple of questions about the ref and bias and fun things. And I know you love it when I ask these questions. I'm not going to ask about the goose play.
Oh, I think one's been explained.
Yeah, it's a.
I think what's been explained.
Whatever. What I do want to know about in particular is early in the second half, there was a very, very clear to me yellow card foul against Tiari where he got pulled down as he was running to the box, and they didn't call it. And then about 10 minutes later, they did call basically exactly the same play, exactly the same thing. Tiari gets pulled down again, and I can't remember. I think it was Gomez who got a yellow for it and set up a free kick just outside the 18 on the far 136 side of the pitch. So I don't understand how one of those was a yellow and a free kick and the other one wasn't. It was pretty egregious.
I think I remember the TRA foul.
I don't know if I remember.
There wasn't a whole lot of contact.
Yeah, I missed the first.
No. If you watch the replay of the match, the contact was pretty significant.
I missed the first half, first few minutes of the second half, so I may not have actually.
This would have been around, going. I think it was around maybe toward the fifth, the 55th, 58th minute.
In there. Okay, but okay.
Enough for it to be clear and obvious.
I should also, for fair warning, I was many beers in from Chomp and Stomp.
It's totally. If you didn't see it, it's cool.
Memory is.
I happened to rewatch. I finally rewatched the match because I was also many beers in, and also having a really hard time wrangling the big ass bless your heart flag, which I insisted that we pull out for this, and then realized just how stupid heavy that pole was, and it was not a good idea for Jen. And Jen apologizes to the flag crew for stupid ideas that she couldn't exactly hold up her end of the bargain of.
That's a big girl.
Well,
that flag is a big girl.
To your point, I mean, I would my initial guess is just how many people were ahead of him at the time to call back to the yellow.
It was a one-on-one. It was a one-on-one play with him and the Miami defender. For the exact same play. The exact same play was then called a yellow 10 minutes later, and we got a free kick out of it.
Well, I mean, that stuff happens all the time.
I mean, the only thing I can figure is that the referee was, because it felt to me like there was a fuck ton of contact that wasn't getting called. And it seemed like the theme of the day, because I remember mentally thinking that was going on in the Liverpool match. There was a lot of contact. And basically the referee was just going, get up. If it's not egregious, if it's not serious contact, I want the game to keep going. And the only thing I can say is that to me, it did feel consistent for a long time, maybe until the 65th or something like that, when he did get called. When that yellow card came out, it felt like he was very much okay, he's just not going to call fucking anything.
I guess that's more my question. I felt like there was a lot of contact, and there were some very, very questionable moments that I felt like under normal circumstances would have been valid foul calls where, the referee would, where there wasn't calls.
Do you think referees do that for big matches? Do you think
I'm not anti swallow the whistle philosophy. I like to see matches played, and I don't like to see referees dictating how the outcome of matches.
Of course.
But
the closest equivalent I had to this is the NBA, because you have obviously a bunch of physical play, and you do see swallowed whistles much more in the NBA playoffs, just with how much more intense it gets.
Yeah.
They just know, if you called everything in a playoff game, you'd have no players left kind of situation.
Yeah.
Granted, 5-on-5 a little bit different from
they
11
keep
on
their
11,
cards
but
in their pocket a little bit more.
They do that a little bit better, and then football is just don't read a message board, and then you'll have the right interpretation of what a ref's doing. But yeah, I mean, I guess it'd be that or accumulation, either too. That could have also been a reason at that
just
point.
Accumulation throughout the game.
Yeah, that would be my. If it's an identical foul, that'd be my guess. If it would be accumulation at that point versus different kinds of contact. But then also it's like it's one dude who's calling all these fouls. They really need 3 guys out there like the NBA does, and they don't. So
that's an interesting point because line judges can confirm fouls, like if you notice, like when there's a big foul, like right on the sideline, they'll go straight up and they're giving it a big wag. But I think it's because they immediately are looking straight up to the head referee and making sure, like, hey, you saw that was a foul, right? Yes, I can confirm so. But I think that they should have.
They should have one. They should have one more.
They're already calling the offside, so clearly they're there. They're in position. In most circumstances, they ought to be able to call fouls, especially if they're clear.
I put an extra one beside both goals for in the box situations.
I like that. Yeah, no, I like that a lot. Why not?
MLS will never pay for it. But yeah,
they barely pay them now.
It's not a bad idea. Extra set of eyes. All right. I kind of want to combine number 2, 4, and part of 5. To kind of walk back some of the harshness on Alexey. I do think we were creating and often given a lot of space, central left. There was really nobody there to take advantage of it. Not enough. We either needed Jay to push up and more into that area, especially if we're going to keep playing Alexey on the right. Look, I've been really critical of the man, but I'd like to take the Randy Pausch mentality here. If you don't know who Randy Pausch is, look him up. Part of the last lecture series at Carnegie, passed away from pancreatic cancer 15 years ago. His speech is on YouTube. It's all about life and perspective, and it's a really good watch. 90 minutes. Take the time to watch it. But he talks about critics and how people laying criticism on you and your critics are the ones who still love you. It's when people stop talking about you and have essentially given up on you. That's a bad place to be. So I know I've been talking about this man a lot. I've been riding him pretty hard. It's only because I expect more. Because of the price tag, because of the hype around him, the billing, the talk up from Garth, we're back, baby. All these things and where he comes from, a top league in the world. He's won trophies. And I just
top performer in a top league in the world in stats.
Fair enough. We just I need to be seeing more from open play. Very good when most of the time when the ball is not moving. He's got a sweet left foot and pretty good threaded passes every now and then. I'm just wanting to see more. But after rewatching the game when I came home last night, he had far more contributions than I think I gave him credit for last night. A much more impact on the game than my perspective gave me from the supporter side of the stadium, where you don't really have that bird's eye view, and you're not tracking players like you can when you see all 11 running around. So that being said, I think he had an assist. He had some good moments, and maybe those moments are going to turn into more just full 90 minutes of impact, especially off the offseason. We get better players around him. I still think it's a risk because we are building around this one very unique player that's going to call for other unique players. And if it doesn't all come together perfectly, it could bust. But fair play to him. I was a bit harsh, and I just want to come out and say that. And now Jennifer is going to tell me why I'm like even more wrong. About Alexey. So go ahead.
Even more wrong. I
could say egregiously wrong.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't say egregiously wrong, but I too had vodka colored goggles on last night, and because I remember I came back and I read the takes. I was like, yeah, these are all spot on, and I remember feeling like I didn't really see much from Alexey at all, and I haven't gone back and like watched the replay, especially in the first half. Every chance we had came through or from that man. And we had some really big chances in the
Dax as well though too, right? Or did Jennifer just freeze up?
She did. I think
she'll pop back in. She little gremlins in her computer. I thought we were playing through Dax a lot too. But
I'm sorry, but yeah, we had some really big chances in the first half. There was that sequence of like 2 or 3 corners in a row.
Yeah.
All of them off of his foot.
We had like a 17-minute bout of possession.
The one that Derek Williams missed that he should have scored on, and he said that in the post game. That was service from Alexey, and that ball was pinpoint.
He also had a near banger goal.
He should have had that. I mean, Calendar makes a ridiculous save on that rising ball.
One more foot.
It's a phenomenal. It was a goose level save.
Half foot more, and it's in. So,
what I also, and I don't know if you guys listened to Atlanta Soccer Tonight this week or heard any of the audio coming off the interviews at the training ground this week.
Some of it.
But they sat down with Bartosz Slisz, and I think it was Jason. And they actually asked Jason what was up. Actually asked Bartosz how he felt about playing with Alexey and how he thought Alexey was doing. And Bartosz came out and said pretty much what we've kind of been saying about Alexey, that like the transition from European top leagues is very, very different. And it is one thing to be Miami when you have Messi and all of his best friends and a manager who's going to let them do what they want to do, who also has experience and like they're playing a different style completely, right? Versus look at Bartosz now, and it's taken him the entire goddamn season to turn into the 6 that we all
That's very fair.
Thought he was going to be back in March and April.
Okay.
So I feel like it's not, we have to get all these cerebral players to build this weird ass brand of hybrid MLS European football to make him work.
So you're comparing Slisz and Alexey's time, and that Slisz is a very unique player that just took that time, and the same amount of time needs to be given to Alexey, and we might see this, Barto coming good.
I don't know
Alexey
if it's the
good.
same amount of time, but
Similar.
I look at I think more time, because Alexey's only been here for like 2.5 months. And during those 2.5 months, we're not surrounding him with the same level of talent.
True.
Right? I mean, we've lost the big talent up front for the most part, with the exception of Saba and the very, very surprisingly good Pedro, right? No one expected Pedro to be the player that he's been, right? Whatever. Yeah. And I'm not knocking it. I'm like, yay. But like, again, when you look at our offensive weapons cabinet, it's a little thin, and maybe we need to go to the gun show. So all that being said, I don't know exactly what a playmaker's expectation of delivery and performance should be on a team that doesn't give him.
It might be, she's frozen up again. She'll come in and finish that sentence in a second. It might be more of what Kat was saying, and what she was expecting from this team over the summer, and what she thought we were lacking, and we were. I would just like to see Alexey play with a little more aggression, a little more get stuck in mentality, and not that, hey, I had the ball taken off me and I'm disappointed and I can't win back. What I mean? Just a little more assertive. I know he's not that player, maybe, that wants to play with that swagger, as it were, but I'm going to need a little bit of that, I think.
Yeah, I think that we were maybe a little bit used to kind of like our number 10 and our central midfielder being, a little bit more of that flashy kind of player that we've sort of been used to. I think that a little bit about what Alexey offers is a little bit more laid back, sort of like, here, let me help pull the strings, kind of a character like Nagbe and things like that, even though Nagbe's more of a 6. But Nagbe's one of those players. It's like he's arguably the best player at what he does. But I think, if you don't hear his name 1,000 times in an hour, it's not necessarily that he's not playing badly. It's just that he's doing his thing.
Right.
So I think that maybe we've just been a little bit used to that flashy.
I don't want someone to play hero ball. That's not what I'm looking for.
No, I understand. Okay. But I'm saying if you're, like we said last pod was, if you're just getting out there and doing your fucking job, then good things are going to come.
I think, in Frank DeBoer's words, we're spoiled, right? We walked out the gate with Miggy.
Of Frank DeBoer.
No, but we had Miggy as our 10, right? Okay. Smiley, happy, everybody loves him, just this glowing, dynamic, fabulous personality that you want, whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sure.
So, he goes on, does big things. He's still doing big things for Newcastle, whatever. He's replaced by someone who comes in as the reigning South American Player of the Year with that, River Plate attitude, swagger, whatever in Pity Martinez. Mm-hmm. We know it didn't end well, but he came in here with an idea and a knowing of like where he was supposed to do. And he didn't, the thing he couldn't do was put the ball in the net because he just wanted to move into Vine City. Right. But like, as far as like other, like he had that personality and that aura around him, and he had it from the get-go.
Yes.
When he left and we brought Thiago in, right? Mm-hmm. Thiago took about a year before we really started to see.
Well, we had Moreno too. Remember, Moreno was supposed to be that gap filler and between Almada and Pity, and that didn't work either.
No, Marcelino was.
No, I'm just, but but talent wise, you could see what Thiago was capable. Well, you could get an idea. We still don't know what all Thiago is capable of.
True,
but you could see the quality. The personality didn't match up, and it took a bit of time for him to grow into it. And part of that is his age and inexperience. Sure. And I think, again, that's all. You want to line it up to cultural differences. Let me tell you something about the cultural difference between, Mother Russia and Uncle Sam land over here. It's okay. I don't know how many Russians but I mean, the Russians I've been privileged to.
Glenn married one.
As far removed from that. I know Novak, but no, she's quite removed from that.
I know.
I don't know a ton of Russians, but I do know a few.
Lineage-wise, it's just funny.
I do know a few, and once you break down that Russian like bear mentality, like they're like the most fun people you've ever met, but you have to break down that through that like. Yeah. Big, hard, woolly mammoth exterior that it takes to survive a Russian winter.
Yeah, Lily is not a woolly mammoth at all. So I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Glenn. No, I don't. There obviously is a culture shock. I know that, and I can only imagine. I am still holding back. I'm still reserving judgment. I can only go on what I see, what is right in front of me. I saw and from our mentality again, because we're literally at the end of it, and I should probably go and do my own rewatch. But it did. It felt like there was a lot of disconnection all over the place. Maybe there was a lot more than meets the eye because of our vantage point. So I just think that it's going to take time. I am reserving. Cannot wait. I said that. I said, are we starting to maybe starting to see that he does have that football IQ that we expect from him? And I do think that once we get some more personnel around him, that maybe things will come around. And if that's the case, great.
And he feels
that's what I want to see. I want to see next year with the new personnel. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm reserving. Yeah. I can only judge if he makes a really shitty pass. I'm going to say, Alexey, what the fuck? Because that's what I can see.
Well, one player who won't be here next year is Dax. And we got to give this man some credit as well. God, man, just throwing his body on the line. Playing like a man who's about to retire, and who cares if I get injured, because he's going to be golfing.
Good point.
What an unexpected key player he has turned out to be, especially in this postseason push. He is channeling his inner Larry, leading this team, leading by example. We were playing through the man last night.
And he just won't retire. He just can't. We just can't let him have a day off.
If we win MLS Cup,
we just can't let him walk off into the sunset.
No, not like that.
He's got to unretire if we win the cup. Right? He's got to unretire.
No, we don't. No. He unretires if we lose in the semis. That's or if we lose in the conference finals. That's when you're one step away from the game.
Yeah,
that's
if you get the trophy, you want to go out.
If you win, you're done.
Yeah, you're walking out of the room. You're George Costanza and Seinfeld showmanship.
You're out.
You're walking out on that. Fair enough.
Yeah, you got to lose early or win.
Hey, look, whatever this team gets from here on is gravy.
It's been gravy since September.
I was so happy to go to a match last night that meant a lot, that had a lot at stake, and I didn't feel pressure. I wasn't nervous. I was able to enjoy an important match, and that's pretty rare because every important match comes with nerves, but this is just we shouldn't be here.
No, we didn't. I didn't have any anxiety.
I'm just happy to be with everybody.
It was really nice.
I'm just happy to be there.
It was really nice. Win, lose, or draw. It would have been great.
I'm going to feel the same about this coming weekend too.
Yeah.
And I'm telling y'all, we've got a shot. If we play like we did last night, and this is kind of into number 5, and again, apologies to Alexey. I was a little bit harsh in me saying he's going to figure out what his role is.
Top rated guy on FOP last night.
Really?
Yep, 8.2.
8.2?
Only guy with an 8 or above last night. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, if I'm critical, then they're a little overpraising.
That was his second best game of the year.
All right, fair enough. Maybe we need to launch our own Instagram camera that just follows Alexey around for the next match. They did it for Messi. Do it for our GOAT. Everybody was playing their role last night. Everybody. I think it might have been Ronald in his post-game remarks, and I love this man and the way he talks about his genuine love for the club and the city, playing for the badge. What a guy. But he said, we don't have stars on this team. Everybody's a star.
He said the star is the team.
That's the star. Man of the match is the team. The star is the team. It's not Messi. It's not one guy. It's everybody playing their role. I saw that last night, even with Alexey.
Yep.
And, you know, if we play that way, we got a real shot at this thing.
That's really of course we do. We've already shown that they're vulnerable.
At their house, we beat them. At their house, we've done this.
That's what I mean.
With Messi on the pitch.
Yeah, we've already done it. We've already done it. We know it's possible.
Whether or not it happens, that's the kind of team I want to love.
Yeah.
That's the team.
I agree.
Say it again.
That's the kind of team I want to love.
Right? This is what we're asking for. It's not, it is about really trophies and all that, but it's about feelings. It's about the moments we create. It's about what we want to see is that collective togetherness where everybody is playing for the man next to them, right? And nobody is more important than anybody else.
So I have to, this is a really good segue because I really want to interject how harmonically converged the universe was yesterday. As many of you all saw in the stadium, we were celebrating the life of our friend Tony, Macaroni Tony, right? And I don't know if you guys saw or noticed like all of the signs.
Oh.
Like there were so many signs. I hit the connector, literally the connector merge, and the Lizzo song, Good as Hell, that we torment him with, comes up randomly on my Spotify playlist that I always play when I'm driving down to the stadium. Right. So that was thing one. And then, you know, Terry and Max from Footy Mob built a beautiful community ofrenda to celebrate his life. And it was so incredibly well done and so personal. And what I loved was they set it up and it was beautiful and had all these things that were special about Tony on there. And people from all over just kept putting more and more memories and stories and personal things, you know, onto the ofrenda. And by the time the tailgate was over, it was literally just like overflowing with love. And it was beautiful. And apparently when his family walked up to the tailgate and saw the ofrenda, the wind started blowing through the papel picado, like the little cutout papers, the things that was so, it was very, again, very surreal. In case, you know, they had all this stuff in the stadium. It was really beautifully done. There was a lovely video. Tony's mom carried the golden spike on behalf of Footy Mob and helped lead the Viking clap. Tony's kit always had a number 3 on it. And the kit that was hanging up on the capo stand and everything, number 3. The tying goal was scored by Derek Williams, who wears number 3. The Jean de Silva game winner was scored at 93 minutes and 30 seconds. And the roof was open. So he had the best view of the whole damn thing.
Yeah. Like I said, something was in the air and it was Tony.
Yeah. I just, you know, it was a thing that was meant to be.
Yep. Good a moment as any to end the pod on.
Sorry, I didn't mean to like kill everybody's
That's
vibes.
Not killing a vibe.
Whatever.
That's adding to it.
No,
it's beautiful.
Not a thing.
I was gearing up for how we do in road games, but I don't know how much that matters now.
Hey, we talked about this before too. For how terrible our home record was, our road record's pretty good.
Our road record was actually really positive this year.
You know, postseason, like we've won at Orlando, tie at Red Bull, which is actually a decent result. Had it not been for all the other poor results this season, tie at Philadelphia, not bad.
Win in Montreal.
and now we're about to go get a win in Miami. It's not bad. It's not bad. All right.
Half of our wins have come in the second half of this. Four of them, I think, have come in the second half of the season. So
yeah.
We've actually, I believe, had the best road season we've had since like 2018.
Oh, easily, yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it's been,
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. We were joking at the beginning of this year that that Glenn was going to get married before we won on the road, and then Glenn got married, and we still hadn't actually won on the road.
That's right. Was that the last time I was on? Was when you were on that boat in Alaska?
That's correct. Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
So long ago. The last time was when you were on that boat in Alaska.
And then everything went downhill from there.
Oh my God.
Wow. All right. I think that's gonna about do it. Any other topics anybody wants to touch on real quick before
No, I just want to say too, thank you to anybody who came up to us, who has come up to us throughout the year, that has come to see us while, at the Footy Mob booth, or has come up to us to talk to us. This pod, along with this team, means so much to us, and I know, and I'm starting to understand that can mean a little bit to some other people too. Mm-hmm. We have some dedicated listeners. We have people who have been there since the beginning. We have people. Wait! Special
shouts to Austin, who did his first time on the Golden Spike shot for Tony. Right. We had tribute. We had the Captain Crunk tribute shot that was created by Lynn and Steve of Truck Bar fame. We ran out of it. They made a giant tub of it, and we ran out of it, which is awesome. Yeah, but it was cool because Austin came up and found
that, and that's actually what I was just about to say, is that because I don't get to attend many matches, the fact that I then was reached out to, being actually the sole representative of the 5 takes last night, because Jennifer was doing something at the other end of the tailgate and Glenn was meeting us inside the match. At one point, I was the sole representative of the takes, and I had quite a few different people come up to me and they say, "Oh, you're the other half, or you're the other third of the podcast. I've never met you. Are you Kat?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Kat." So a shout out to Mila and Chris, who came and talked to me for a good while. I got to hang out with them. I got to get to know them a little bit about how they met and when they get to listen to us, and we appreciate it. We started off doing this for us, and we still obviously do, but I'm glad to know that that our voices can reach out to other people.
It's all about
we were kind of talking. That's what I'm saying. We're kind of the pod of the people in that way. The people pod. I don't know what you want to call it, Yeah. But it's true, because that's how that's always been, our mission statement, where we come from a supporter's perspective. We're not commentators. We're not analysts necessarily, although Jack kind of is.
Having a chat about the game. That's all it is.
We're just friends who support this team and love this team and want to talk about it. And I think that I'm just glad that can reach anybody on any level. So thanks for being here.
Weekly soccer therapy.
Thank you to my friends for putting up with me, and thank you for the people who continue to listen. An hour and 13 minutes into this shit all night.
No problem.
That was rhetorical.
Well, and if we bring any little bit of joy into your lives, that's like seriously worth all of it.
That's right.
Because
big bonus.
Again, we're just kind of all lucky, like this team, we're all kind of lucky to be here right now.
Yes, we are. I mean, seriously,
right.
getting old is hard. The alternative is much worse.
That's for sure.
Well, everyone bear that in mind, and
that's right.
Don't take any of the moments you have with the people around you and the memories you create, whether it's soccer or otherwise, for granted, because it can be gone suddenly, out of nowhere, unfairly, cruelly. So just do your best to be present and enjoy the now, the immediacy of now. All right, y'all.
And that is why I am getting on a plane at dark 30 on Saturday and flying to Inter Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's fucking go. Man. Fuck them all.
Listen,
let's do this.
I hope the top 5 list shrinks a little bit. For you as far as moments in matches. I hope you get another one of those and bumps another one down the line next weekend. If we do get it done, it will be because knocking Miami and Messi out will be something that's talked about in this league for decades, because they're the best team to ever do it. At least the points say that, and the level of talent on the field and in coaching says that they should win this thing, and we should not.
But that they should win it handily.
Yes,
and that's not happening so far.
No.
So let's keep making them uncomfortable
collectively,
and let's
Goose.
Let's make it look fucking hard.
Goose, buddy, pal, if you could stand on your head one more time, my man. One more time for old time's sake. Keep 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 goals out. That'd be great. And see if Saba, he loves to eat down there. See if we can get him one more. All right.
Right.
Thanks, y'all, for listening. Really appreciate it. Thank you for going to Mason Mill again, November 8th. This coming Friday is their 30th anniversary party. So go check that out. Thank you very much for supporting Atlanta United Fan TV. Thank you to Michael and to AJ for having us be a part of it, and for sharing the great memories that we had with them on Saturday. It was amazing, incredible stuff we'll never ever forget, and I'll really, really cherish. All right, we're gonna be back in a week's time. 2-1 again. I'm gonna go right now. I'm gonna say 3-2 Atlanta. 3-2.
I don't know where you find 3, but I'm gonna go 2-1.
I looked at all of our scores and I was like, why does no one ever score more or less than 2?
That's why I'm saying it's been weird this whole time. It's gonna be weird there too. 3-2.
I just don't know where we find a third goal. I get it. I'd love it.
You know what? 9 of our last 10 goals were scored by different people. Let's just say 3 of them are gonna. Let's just say 3 of them are gonna score goals.
Actually,
3 different people.
I see a third goal. I see it at 3-2. No, sorry, I see it at 2-1. And then Miami is just like, fuck it, we ball, and just goes ham, and then there's like 2 guys left behind, and someone just walks into a third goal basically.
Last kick of the game.
Crazy counter situation.
It's a corner, and Brad comes up and channels his
Brad header
in his inner Alisson, and gets a goal.
A Brad header would be fitting for how obnoxious the season has been,
wouldn't it? Okay, I'm gonna call a Saba breakaway. I'm gonna call a Dax McCarty header off a corner, and I'm gonna call an Alexey Golasso.
Banger. Outside the box, left foot.
Outside the box, left-footed banger.
Yep. Okay,
that's your 3.
All right. And we'll get Jennifer's.
I would not mind missing. I would not mind seeing any of those in person, but I am not going to speak of things.
That's fine,
because I don't talk about Bruno.
I totally
don't
understand.
talk about Bruno.
But we will talk about it next week. So until then, y'all be good. We will be back.
Fucking meow, bitches.